Hi there. I'm going to show you how to make a real Negroni. Loads of people are making Negronis these days. That Stanley Tucci guy, he was showing you how to make a Negroni on YouTube. He's a great actor, but I'm not really sure that he knows how to make cocktails, to be honest. Now, if you really want a quick Negroni, my advice is go to the supermarket and get yourself a bottle of ready-made Negroni and get a small glass and pour in your Negroni. No. I can give Stanley Tucci a run for his money, but I'm not going to cheat. Now, Stanley was right. You should never make a Negroni on the rocks. In fact, no good drink should be on the rocks. You know what penguins do in ice, huh? So you take your cocktail shaker, which I chill in the fridge. That stops the ice melting too much. But don't put it in the freezer, because then your hands are going to stick to the cocktail shaker and it's going to be like the scene out of Frozen, that 2010 film. I don't mean the Disney 2013 film. So I've got my shaker with some ice. And the first ingredient, of course, is gin. Now, did you notice Stanley Tucci getting all hoity-toity about which vermouth to use? He didn't say very much about the gin though, and gin is the most important thing of all. Now, I use one of my favorites. This is Sipsmith. It's a London gin, cheeky little name, and it's a wonderful gin. It has just that right note of juniper to cut through the other flavors, and just a hint of orris root too. You can see, look, it's a beautiful gin in a beautiful bottle. That label is fantastic. Now, the taste is good too. So, Stanley says, use 2 measures of gin. However, I think that's too much. That's going to make too light a colored Negroni, and Negroni has to have deep color. So, I agree with him, it should have a bit more than the traditional 1 measure. So I put 1.5. So 1.5 of this wonderful gin. Now, where I agree with Stanley is it's worth actually having a good vermouth. I don't agree with him on the pronunciation, however. It's not vermouth. It should rhyme with Falmouth and not with forsooth, for goodness sake. Anyway, this is a really wonderful, it's the old formula sweet red vermouth, 1 measure, and it does smell good. I'm almost tempted to have a swig now, but I shouldn't. And of course, the third ingredient of your Negroni is Campari. Now, what Stanley didn't tell you was this really interesting little detail. Have you ever wondered where Campari gets its distinctive red color from? Well, these days it's a bit of a mystery, because traditionally it was colored with carmine, which is extracted from the cochineal beetle, which lives in Barbary figs, or prickly pears, you might call them. And it's said that Campari stopped putting that in because vegans were complaining they don't want to be drinking beetle juice. So, who knows where the red color comes from these days. Now, the other thing is, Stanley said something about the ubiquitous Milanese cocktail. Well, Campari does indeed come from Milan. 1 measure goes in. Oops. I'm out of Campari. Note to self, buy more Campari. I just had 1 measure left in that bottle. By the way, you can also use, instead of the vermouth, you can use Puntemez, which is a wonderful drink from Turin. It takes me back to my youth, my misspent youth. At least said that, about that the better. So now I have all 3 ingredients, and yeah, the Negroni certainly does not come from Milan. It's not Milanese. It's from Florence, much more sophisticated. And talking of sophistication, please never, ever, ever shake a Negroni. The Negroni must be stirred. In other words, swirl it around in your shaker on the ice, but never, ever shake it. That's all of that James Bond nonsense, shaker not stirred, which is not good for martinis either, by the way. And now I have my Negroni ready here. Stanley again. He suggested using a martini glass. No. He also suggests, in fact, he serves his in a coupe. No. The traditional Negroni can only be served in a tumbler. And here it is. Wonderful aromas coming from those three fantastic ingredients. Perfect color. Just fills that tumbler. And that just leaves one more thing, the garnish. Please, a slice of Florida orange? The only garnish for a Negroni worth its salt is the zest. It looks good, it smells good, and it doesn't contaminate your cocktail with orange juice. And one more thing, did you notice how selfish Stanley was? He wasn't even going to share it with his wife. I will just try this. That's a really good Negroni. Y este Negroni es para vos, mi amor. Salud.